Love scary stories? Hit that subscribe button and join us. New nightmares are waiting every week. This video is going to be a little different from my others, and then I'm going to focus on one story instead of three. Now to begin, everyone knows what a crawl space is, whether you have one or you don't, an unoccupied narrow space within a home between the ground and the first floor, usually in place of a basement and used for storage. Usually the scariest things you'd find in a crawl space would be rodents or giant spider crickets jumping at you. But Jake Pinger found something much more disturbing than any creepy creatures in his crawl space, in a nice area of Firestone, Colorado. Jake owns his own house where his girlfriend lives with him. Jake had met his girlfriend, who remains nameless, at a comedy club in town, and the two hit it off and would eventually start to date at some point. During this time, she opened up to him about her old abusive ex. She described her ex as a ticking time bomb, how he could at times be very sweet, and that she loved his more gentle side, but that he could switch to a completely different person, just like a flick of a switch. And in this alternate personality of his, he was a very aggressive, scary man who would do things like fight bouncers at bars or punch holes in walls when angry, or even sometimes getting physical with her. And he got angry rather easily. Things would become so rocky between the two that eventually she would end things with her ex. But he didn't take that news well. She feared that her ex was stalking her parents' house at late hours of the night, because either she or her parents would hear sounds from the backyard, like the gate slamming shut, or the backyard shed door closing. Her ex disabled all forms of social media after the breakup, and she became so concerned for her well-being that she decided to move in with her current boyfriend, Jake. Now you may be wondering, what does this have to do with anything? Well, on one regular night that Jake's girlfriend wasn't in the house with him, he was in his living room when he heard noises from in the crawl space. He moved from his living room to his kitchen and sat at the island for a while, continuing to listen and hearing strange occasional thumping sounds from directly below him. It was at this time that he started to record a video for his Snapchat story, assuming what he was hearing was an animal of some kind, such as a raccoon. Holy! Let's go! Oh, So as he enters his crawl space, he stops recording for a second so that he could take another video with the flash on so that he could navigate the crawl space. The crawl space appears to be mostly empty, aside from some boxes that were tucked into one corner. Jake says when he saw these boxes this way, he was confused because he didn't remember leaving them that way. As Jake walks deeper into the crawl space, where the left side expands further down, Jake says he heard a noise in one corner like pebbles being scraped on the concrete floor. As he heard the noise, he turned to the corner, where he saw the terrifying sight of a hunched-over man dressed in all black who was hiding in the corner behind a wall, now getting up and approaching. Jake's scream sounded like a legitimate scream from somebody witnessing something as disturbing as an intruder hiding in their crawl space and then basically lunging at them. The video cuts out seconds later as being that it was a Snapchat video. Once he let go of the record button, the video stopped. At this point, Jake explained that he ran back to the ladder of the crawl space, and as he climbed up, the man grabbed his foot and tried to pull him down, but Jake managed to kick his way out of the grip and slammed the crawl space door in his face. Unfortunately, the door to the closet, which contained the crawl space door, didn't have a lock. So Jake's first instinct was to run to the kitchen and grab the biggest knife, then lock himself inside the bathroom. He heard the closet door open, and then footsteps come over to the bathroom door, and then the man on the other side of the door try the doorknob. Not knowing what kind of weapons the person might have had, Jake didn't engage the intruder in a fight. Instead, he silently called 911 and kept the line going, and eventually he heard footsteps quickly leave the house out the front door. Now Jake told the 911 operator about the break-in, and so police came to the house, conducted a quick investigation, and a police report was created for the incident. Jake's girlfriend refused to come to the house after hearing of the incident because she swore left and right that the man had to be her ex. It's impossible to make out any notable facial features on the man in the video. Jake says he saw that the man was wearing a black mask and his head was covered by a hood, which you can kind of see in the video. Jake also described the man to have a very tall-looking, intimidating stature, despite his hunched-over posture in the crawl space. Jake's girlfriend's ex was a very tall man, and upon watching the video, she swears it looks just like his body. Of course, this is just speculation on her part, and without solid evidence legally, they don't have much of a leg to stand on as far as pressing charges in the video, though loud thumping and hammering type sounds could be heard in the beginning. And after investigating, Jake found that the intruder had ripped through some of the insulation of the crawl space and had been hammering at some of the wood in the ceiling of the crawl space and also some of the pipes. It's unknown why he was doing this. It was also discovered that the key that the couple hides in one of their sheds outside was missing, which already revealed how the intruder got inside. It might insinuate that the man who broke in had his eyes on the house for a while. Jake changed the locks on the door that same day, but his girlfriend has yet to return to that house, worried that it's now being stalked by her crazy ex-boyfriend Jake, has installed the Ring doorbell camera recently, and on several occasions he's gotten a notification from his Alexa device that there's someone at his front door, but there's never anybody actually there, not visibly at least, while there isn't any solid evidence as to who the intruder was. It may be a strong possibility that it is in fact her ex-boyfriend. What started as a guy simply trying to get a funny Snapchat story of what he assumed to be a raccoon in his crawl space turned into something much more horrifying. The start of a nightmare. Even Jake said he would keep me updated on the matter. So if any new information comes up, I'd consider making a follow-up if you guys would be interested.